Hello, it's Eric once again with Master Tool Repair. Today we're going to show you some helpful tips on how to replace a TVA11 trigger valve kit and a Stanley-Bostitch frame gun, which we have here. And pretty simple. I'm not going to go into a lengthy installation, but here's some tricks to kind of help you along. Here on the right side we have our old parts that we removed from the gun itself. The sequential trigger itself I removed, and with the pins that hold the trigger in. So you'll obviously have various pins that you'll need to first punch out, and of course the trigger valve kit includes a punch, so you can simply punch the pins out to remove the trigger and the pins that hold the valve in and the trigger in. So you must do that first to remove everything. Once you have all the various components removed and the trigger removed and the pins, you'll see the actual trigger valve inside. That's the firing pin right here and the plastic valve itself. Now, easy way to remove this, because it might be stuck in, lodged in pretty well, especially if the gun has not been oiled very well or consistently. It might be a little dry in there, so easy way to pop it out. Go ahead and make sure you have air pressure to your line, and take a shop rag or a thick rag and hold it right in front of the trigger area, just like so. So hold it right in front of the trigger valve, because it will pop out with force. Obviously you have about 110 psi of air popping this valve out, so make sure you have a thick rag to basically for safety reasons, in other words. Go ahead and just hook up your line to the plug and you'll hear pop just like that. And it's a very simple way to remove the trigger valve. You see, just easily comes right out. So a very helpful little tip there. Alright, so here's the old trigger valve. As you can see, we're going to go ahead and to remove or to install the new one. We're going to go ahead and use our O-ring lubrication. For this video I'm not going to go ahead and lubricate every O-ring, but it's necessary to certainly lube the O-rings up. If you do not, and you install this at an angle, it could easily rip the O-rings or damage them. So it's necessary to use the O-ring lubrication. To easily lubricate these, you'll see two pins holding the firing pin in the trigger valve. You simply just punch those out like so with the punch that comes with the kit. And then of course take the orifice cap off the end. And you can remove this pretty easily, and make sure to keep everything in order so you remember how it went in. So we have a spring in here. Now the mechanism here on the end is inside is already lubricated, so this you don't necessarily have to lubricate inside, but this firing pin right here needs lubrication. So you'll just simply punch this out. You'll see two small O-rings. Alright, so those O-rings you want to lubricate pretty well. It's necessary that you do, so that the firing pin moves back and forth pretty easily. And then what you do, you just install it right back in, just like it came out. And of course you have a spring around here somewhere. There we are. And we're going to go ahead and put the spring back on the firing pin. And of course it just drops right down to the trigger valve very easily. And you'll see little cutouts here, which the firing pin assembly pushes right back in. See, there's two kind of cutouts there, and they just lock in place. Then of course you install the orifice cap back on, and then you're going to put your pins back in that will hold the firing pin assembly in. So you got to have these. Don't forget to replace these, because everything will basically come apart. So these hold everything in place. And once you have everything lubed up and in place, simply enough, you're just going to install it, the orifice cap obviously inside the gun, the firing pin towards the outside of the gun. And you want to make sure you have grooves in the valve here. See these grooves right here? These are for the pins to hold the valve into the gun. So you can't just put it in any way. So we're going to have to make sure these vertical grooves are in the gun to where you can input the pin into the body of the gun, and it will hold the valve in place. So when you install it, make sure you do install it straight. It's easy to install it at an angle, and that could damage the O-rings. So make sure to install it straight. So once we have it lined up, it's a matter of just pressing the valve in, and then of course reinstalling your pins into the trigger handle to hold everything in place, and just install your trigger mechanism itself. And easy as that, honestly. If you have any more problems, or you run into any stumbling blocks, just go ahead and you can go on our website, look at some information, look at your manual, or call into a sales rep for more assistance. And that's about it. Thank you very much once again for watching.